Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. Gloria here. Thank you for stopping by. So in today's video, I'd like to share an experience I had sometime last week on the streets of Abuja, Nigeria. Now, this video is intended to help us understand how emotional intelligence can go a long way to help us, one. Two, help us understand when the devil is about to play a fast one on us. Three, understand when God is saying something to you, when you need to listen and obey. Obedience is key. Now, earlier that day, my husband and I were going somewhere, and while on transit, we were having this conversation about how people can suddenly fall into trouble and their lives literally take a different dimension that is negative. So we're sharing this thoughts and we're just going on, saying how sometimes we need to try to avoid trouble as much as possible because you know how something starts, you honestly don't know how it might end. You know, some people have been behind bars for the littlest of issues. You consider it little, but as soon as the devil uses that opportunity to want to destroy a man, he can go as far as the unimaginable to bring down someone. You see someone who is doing well, who is doing, very well in their field. They are just minding their business, going about their daily activities and working hard. Suddenly, the person's life is cut short because of a very little issue, that probably would have made him fall into trouble. In Nigeria, we take bikes a lot. In many cities of Nigeria, we call bike Okada. Now, there is this young guy who just newly got into town, doing well, got a good job, and moved into town, and we're just, about settling down in town, only for him to take a bike. And upon getting to his destination, he had a little altercation with the bike man over, I think, was it 100 naira or over just a very, very insignificant amount. Now, talking about trouble, talking about how the devil can use the littlest of things to cause someone to fall into trouble. A big trouble, like a, a humongous trouble compared to what led to it. I hope you're understanding my analysis, anyways. Okay, and so this man, because of that very little altercation with the bike man, probably they didn't arrive at a negotiation before he boarded the bike. Before you take a bike, ask how much it is. Settle with the bike man. Be sure that the amount he said he's going to take you to your destination is what you can afford or what you both agree. Because we've heard stories of people who bought bikes and they get to their destination and begin to have a fight over how much it is and how much it is not. Now, that's not this is me now digressing, but let me come back to the story, right? Now, this man had that altercation, and before you say Jack Robinson, the bike man had brought out what's it called now? A screw or a knife, something sharp object though, and he stabbed this passenger of his, and that was how that man fell down and died right there in the pool of his own blood because of 100 naira. Somebody who just got a job, who just came into town, had a promising future. See how the devil made him lose his life. So, we're having that conversation with my husband that morning. We're bringing up different scenarios and just praying to God that, oh, please, I don't just want us to fall into trouble. May God help us not to fall into trouble because a lot of things are happening, this, that. And then we're having that smooth conversation and going our way. Now, little did I know that the Holy Spirit actually inspired that discussion because of what was to come ahead in that day. I didn't know. Now, hours passed, I got back home, everything was fine. I needed to go and do something. I needed to go out to, I think I wanted to go and make some copies, or print out some documents from a cyber cafe. And then I quickly left the house. I got to the cyber cafe. I knew I wasn't going to stay long, so I parked beside the road. In all honesty, I didn't realize that I had blocked someone, more like obstructed a vehicle from coming out from that street. I just parked, hoping that in 5 minutes I would be back and I would go out. Somehow, I stayed longer in the cyber cafe, but not too long to cause any havoc. Now, I think I stayed up to, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes as opposed to the 5 minutes I thought I was going to stay. And when I came out, I was about to drive off when this man just came and said, I started hitting my car from behind. He hit it so hard, and I was wondering what the problem was. So as soon as I even wound down so that we could talk. And then he said, didn't I see that I parked and I blocked the road and I couldn't allow him to go to where he was going to? He was so mad. And I was then like, well, I didn't know I was going to stay this long before I said anything. This man put his hand in my car. Remember that I went down because I thought I wanted to see him so that we could talk. I didn't know he was that violent. And that was my bad. If I knew, I could have just apologized and quietly driven off. But I thought I was just going to explain, oh, sorry. Before I even opened my mouth to say anything, it was so dramatic. It was so scary. It was so sudden, like in splits of seconds. The man put his hand right in my car, opened from inside, jumped in, forcefully, turned off my ignition, removed my keys, and he was like, let me see the person that will come and take this key from me. Let me see how you're going to leave this place. Because you wasted my time, I will waste your time. You will not go out anywhere. If you say one word, I will slap you. I will beat you up. I was like this. It was a shock. This had never happened to me before. Like I'd never had such very violent and physical abuse or attack or whatever before. And so I was even shaking, like I was shaking. It was a lot. Before you could say anything, the streets were getting fuller, people were gathering already, and I did not want that for myself. I know how Nigeria is. Anything could have happened, and before you know, you see yourself on the internet. Before people start bringing out their phones and begin to take videos. But now the point I'm trying to make is, in that moment, I knew something was wrong. I knew I shouldn't react. I knew, no, I missed out something. I missed out something, yes. Something very vital. When he came into my car and he turned off the ignition, he raised his hand and was about to give me a hit. And I bent to dodge that. And I could overhear some young ladies across the other side saying, ah, this woman tried. If it was me, I won't take it. How dare him? Things like that. At that moment, I knew something was off. I knew it wasn't normal. I knew that I should not react. So the only thing I did was this. I just kept, like I was literally showing my shock and surprise. But I knew that if I reacted, a lot would have gone wrong. I did not want to give the devil a chance. And I'm not owing it to my composure. I'm not owing it to my ability. I'm not owing it to me doing that. It was definitely the Holy Spirit. It was definitely God. Because, guys, I'm Mayborn. And a lot of people say Mayborns can be strong-headed. I don't know how true that is. But I know my normal self. I would stand up for myself. That's what I do on a typical day. Like I would always stand up for myself. I'm not the kind of person that can be bullied. I would not take you attacking me violently, especially when you're even a man. I wouldn't do that on a normal day. Trust me on this one, guys. I wouldn't do that on a normal day. But for me to be that calm, even when the man opened my car, entered into my car, turned off my ignition, took out my keys, tried to hit me, And I didn't say a word. I was just looking at him. He was waiting for a reaction. And if I had given that reaction, probably I had come down from that car, went out, started screaming or shouting or hit him or done anything or even retaliated or giving him back his energy. Anything could have happened. What if he had a sharp object with him? What if there was a mob? Don't forget, people started gathering. What if my car was vandalized? What if, because and it was an environment that was populated by a particular ethnic group, I'm not going to call names, but it was populated by a particular ethnic group. And I know the tendencies. When there is an altercation like that in that area, a lot of people will be against me. We have differences basically because we have differences. Okay, differences in tribe, differences in religion, differences in we have differences basically. So I knew that was not the right place. I knew it wasn't for every time I could have reacted. I kept calm. I kept calm. And at the end of it all, when the man was not getting the energy that he was given, he reluctant. I noticed his tone fell. I noticed his pitch fell. He began to say things like, how would you just come and park your car here? Say I was going to go somewhere. Like he fell. Everything about his tone and his anger came down. And I only just said, can I have my keys back? And he flung it in for me. And that was it. But I didn't even let that move me in any way. I was protecting my self-image. It was in public. I don't know who knows me from anywhere, who will be hanging around that vicinity at that time. Besides my image, I was trying to tread understanding how the devil works. Anything could have happened to my life. It was only a small argument that could have been settled with a simple apology. But if I became defensive, even though the man was wrong on every ground, yes, I was wrong to have obstructed him from moving out. But the way he reacted was just out of this world. Like he overreacted. He overreacted. You need to see. Now, if I had, because of his overreaction, tried to defend myself, anything could have gone on. The devil may have used that opportunity to either cost me my life or cost me trouble. And in splits of seconds, I remembered how that day started. I remember the conversation that we had with my husband. And it just made me understand how, how sensitive we need to be when God is trying to communicate with us. It can come in different ways. It can come in any way. In my case that day, it came as a conversation with my husband, which I was able to refer to. So because of that conversation, I had the consciousness of trouble. I had the consciousness of what it means to fall into trouble. I had the consciousness of what it means, for something little to magnify into something enormous. I knew how it started. Only God knows how it could have ended if I did not have one emotional intelligence and if I also did not obey the voice of the Holy Spirit who was helping me to be calm at that moment. Hardly would a woman take that thing that man did that day. It was a stranger, a random stranger. He was not even a military. He was not even somebody in military uniform that could have said, okay, probably he was using his position to subjugate me or to. No, he was a random man who just acted like he was the man and I was the woman. But I did not give the devil a chance. So in this video, it's me saying that at every point in time, we need to keep our emotions in check. Now, this is me saying you need to understand the power in being calm, the power in understanding what the devil can do out of any situation. It's not going to cost you anything. I'm still standing. I'm still here. That scenario didn't take a single hair off my skin. It didn't reduce me in any way. That scenario did not reduce me in any way. It is about how you see yourself. It's about how you understand that the devil is constantly looking for what he can use against you and not allowing yourself to fall for the trick of the devil. So that is it. Anywhere you find yourself, please understand what the mission of the devil is and do not let your emotions lead you into trouble. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it. It helps the video a lot to gain more visibility. Leave a nice comment and share. I'll see you in the very next one. Bye for now.